David Attenborough calls for global $500 billion a year investment in nature.
Here's a summary of the article.
British ecologist and nature documentary host David Attenborough called for a $500 billion per year global investment in nature on Wednesday. The call came during a one-day summit held by the United Nations convened to discuss the protection of wildlife on the planet. The world spends a collective $80 billion to $90 billion on wildlife and nature conservation each year. Advertisement. Attenborough joined conservation groups Wednesday cautioning that the planet's future is in grave jeopardy, according the Wire service. Our natural world is under greater pressure now than at any time in human history, and the future of the entire planet, on which every single one of us depends, is in grave jeopardy, Attenborough said in a statement. UN officials aim to secure a global agreement at a similar target during biodiversity negotiations set to take place in China next year. Last week, Attenborough launched an Instagram account, posting a video sharing that his profile's focus would underscore issues threatening the environment and solutions to the problems affecting the planet.
This post received a score of 88,000, with an upvote ratio of 91%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
They went on a war footing to achieve an incredible goal. We need the entire developed world to go onto a war footing today to combat the Anthropocene. If every superpower contributed 3 to 4% of its GDP to developing renewable technology, developing carbon capture infrastructure, developing third world neighbors and everything else we can do to reverse anthropogenic climate change, we'd actually have a shot of mitigating or reversing this apocalyptic track that we're on. The next best chance we've got is right now, because if we leave it another 40 years it'll be way too late.
The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, the second best time is now. Chinese proverb.
I thought that was about Bitcoin.
The best time to plant a tree was 20 bitcoins ago, the second best time is now. Doesn't seem to make much sense.
The best time to plant a bitcoin was 20 trees ago.
I planted a shit 20 years ago, and at that time it was worth the same amount as one bitcoin. Canadian proverb.
Somewhat relevant.
Not the poop knife story I was expecting, but still a good read. The fact that we can't even put 0.35% of global GDP towards an existential crisis that threatens our entire species.
Which is why the human race is pretty dumb in the grand scheme of things.
It's starting to look like we're reaching the answer to the Fermi paradox. Climate change was our great filter and I don't think we're going to make the cut.
I've been thinking the same. If other beings are carbon-based, it's not hard to imagine a scenario where they would have fossil fuels to burn. I bet this isn't the first time a civilization has screwed up their planet.
Some people say that Venus is such an example, based on nothing. The idea makes me uneasy for some reason, but I still find it interesting.
Wouldn't it be crazy if we started exploring the surface of Venus more and all of a sudden we find all these ancient skeletons and machinery scattered all over the ground?
And the skeleton is holding a flyer. Shareholders meeting next Tuesday.
A picture of Elon Musk on it, talking about the tech needed to explore a crazy planet called Earth and eventually colonize it. I need this movie.
Trump announces the USA is good for $750.
We should get the climate to fuck him. That way at least we might get a couple $100,000 from him.
Even if he raped the Earth, which he certainly is trying to do, the Earth can't sign an NDA, so he wouldn't pay it anything.
I still wonder what kind of kink he has that is worth paying more than he earns in a typical year to keep quiet about.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.